I'm Phoenix Wright, and I'm done telling jokes from this point forward. It's serious lawyer time. It's been a long battle, but the moment of truth has finally arrived.
Thank God.
As long as I don't mess up here, victory is mine.
I feel like we have to show the evidence now, right?
Yeah.
Because if we don't, we have nothing.
I mean, if we don't show it, like, he's kind of already... I don't know, to me, it seems like even if that puts Emma in a more precarious situation, it still strengthens our case in a way for us to get this evidence he was hiding. You know?
Yeah, I agree. We should show it.
Alright.
I'm afraid.
Your Honor, I do have evidence to present now.
God.
Alright then, let's see this conclusive evidence. The evidence that shows who actually murdered Prosecutor Marshall.
We haven't left, but we've somehow received this evidence.
Wow, we really went into a fourth page of evidence.
Oh man. Hopefully we don't get any more in this last bit of the trial.
Jesus.
We're obviously gonna get another page at least.
I hope not. Take that! Let me verify this once more. On the day of the crime, you personally cut out this piece of the victim's vest?
Oh, yes. At last, you finally brought it out into the open.
There's a handprint on this piece of cloth.
Your Honor, the prosecution requests that be immediately sent to the lab for analysis. This handprint on the leather. There must have been a strong impact for it to be left so clearly.
If Phoenix was actually doing this the right way, it would have been to the lab days ago.
Listen.
You mean...
I had
Is this the murder
dust.
That was a joke.
It could not have been forged. It must be authentic, conclusive evidence. That's a bold statement, Your Honor.
You're as slow on the uptake as ever, Worthy.
What?
Think about it. Righto had all this time to present this evidence. Yet he was reluctant to do so. Now, why would that be?
You mean you already know? You know whose fingerprints are on that?
Mr. Wright, do you really know? Whoever the fingerprints belonged to must be the real murderer. Whose fingerprints are they?
Very well, I'll tell you. I have the fingerprints and hand of a 13-year-old girl.
Oh, God.
You know, it's a very wide hand.
It should be okay now. Everything's proceeding as predicted. What the fuck?
You predicted this? Couldn't you have changed the outcome a little bit?
Phoenix is actually a mastermind.
It's all coming together.
Oh God.
The person to whom these fingerprints belong is...
Well...
I mean, we can't lie.
So we're
Can
gonna
we
lie.
look at how old Lana is real quick? Just
30,
to confirm
29.
her age. Okay. I feel like we had a discussion about that earlier. Anyway.
Yeah, she's 13 years older than her sister.
Whack. So, Emma.
14 years older?
Yeah, technically. Take that!
Emma? Emma Skye? What? What? They're mine?
I'm sorry, Emma.
But why? Why didn't you tell me?
Oh, that was pretty
Why
cool
would he
of him.
tell you?
You're really something, righto. You knew this girl did it all along. And you still tried to pin the murder on me.
So it's true. Tragic, but true. This girl really did shove Prosecutor Marshall to his death.
Ooh, there it is. How could you? You monster.
How dare you? You
May
just told
God.
the truth.
You knew whose fingerprints those were all along, yet you acted like she really didn't.
Ms. Sky, it's not over yet.
What?
I said this trial isn't over yet.
Ah, but I'm afraid it is over, boy. Not only this trial, but your career, too. Can't really sad.
I mean, how? He's going to successfully defend Lana by, like, pinning it on Emma, so I'd say he's done okay.
Yeah, but he hid evidence.
You purposely concealed this conclusive evidence.
Yeah, that.
That, my friend, is a serious offense. Jamming. I'm looking forward to pressing charges after the defendant is convicted. I'll have your badge, boy.
But then what will we present to literally everyone we meet?
Our heartbreak.
I was an attorney.
What's the matter? Got your tongue? Starts a vigilante justice group with Gumshoe and Edgeworth. Aren't you going to tell us how it feels? How it feels to be the one who single-handedly turned a poor little girl into a murderer?
I mean, if she murdered, she did it on her own.
Before I do that,
Turn a girl into a murderer?
there's just one little thing I have to clear up.
I will be so glad once we get into a case without a character that has my name.
Yeah. Oh, and what's that?
Who really killed Prosecutor Neil Marshall?
What?
Oh God, the shake.
Chief Gant, you are absolutely right. This piece of cloth proves who the real murderer is. Who killed Neil Marshall, you ask?
It was Emma Sky, wasn't it?
I'm afraid that's not possible. That is not correct. According to the encyclopedia... You see, this piece of cloth contains a critical contradiction.
What? A contradiction? What is this fool babbling about?
I'm talking about a contradiction. One that proves who the real killer is.
It's the size of the hand, you know.
Mr. Wright, this piece of cloth. What could it possibly contradict?
Chief Gant, your tyrannical reign ends here. Behold, the piece of evidence that contradicts this cloth.
Okay.
Alright,
Oh, boy.
guys.
Could it be... Can we look at the autopsy report again?
Oops, that's Goodman's wrong autopsy report. We have so many.
And the knife, too. Sorry. Stabbed in the back. Okay.
Which knife?
So that
There's
doesn't really
4.
help.
This one?
The broken one? Okay.
Can we see the photo of the crime?
Mm-hmm. Oh, so the blood... Maybe it's that, like... He bled
Why is it all coming from his
and not
mouth?
his vest?
Oh, Yeah, because, I mean, there would be blood on it, wouldn't there?
Yeah,
But there's not.
from before he was killed, we would see blood from him being killed as opposed to just from Emma's hand.
Yeah. I feel like it's this.
Alright. Can I just say, you guys are really good at this game.
Thanks. I feel like it's mostly Amy, but
Go.
I don't think so, but thanks.
Take that!
and what exactly is this supposed to be?
This is the picture Ms. Sky took. Take a good look at it. See where the piece of his vest was cut out?
Yes, his shirt is showing underneath.
Scandalous.
It's hard to make out with all the blood on his vest, though.
Exactly my point. His chest is soaked with blood. That's only natural. His lungs no doubt were punctured. Blood poured out of his mouth.
Oh, but that piece of cloth. Wait! There's no blood on it.
Since Emma
Jesus.
Sky's fingerprints are on this cloth, there's no doubt that she shoved the prosecutor aside. However, Mr. Marshall was not impaled on the sword at that time.
No, this is nonsense.
I'm jamming out. Now then, Chief Gant, let me ask you something. Prosecutor Marshall was not impaled when he was shoved aside. He most likely hit his head on the ground and was knocked out. If so, then tell me, who could it have been? Who could have arrived at the scene before Ms. Lana Sky, picked up the unconscious prosecutor, and impaled him on the armor's sword? Then, to make it look like Emma was responsible for the prosecutor's death, said person proceeded to write her name on the jar with the victim's blood. A jar that they then broke on purpose to leave behind a clue. And make Lana believe her sister did it.
Edgeworth, you would make a good defense attorney. Why don't you just switch your profession?
Remember what you admitted only moments ago? That you personally cut out this bloodless piece of the victim's vest? Ironic, isn't it? Through the very act of creating insurance, you proved that you were the actual murderer.
I love this.
Yikes.
I love his final sprite so fucking much. It's finally all over.
What is it? Objection. I'm assuming it was him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. New sprite, I guess.
Sweaty. That was close, Righto. You almost had me. Sorry. You'll have to do better than that. I refute all your allegations. I'm gonna kill this man.
What do you mean you refute all of his allegations?
You see, that piece of cloth is illegal evidence.
I mean, everything Phoenix
shit.
presents is illegal
He
evidence,
did steal
so
it out of the man's safe.
Order! Order! What nonsense is this?
I mean, it's true, but
Actual like a law procedure?
Illegal evidence cannot be used to convict a suspect. Remember, Aji?
Love the acrobatics his hair is doing between sprites. It just stood back up.
He's regaining his power. Everyone stopped praying for my grandpa.
He's getting too strong.
Earlier, old Righto here concealed that piece of cloth. So then, what's your excuse, Righto? You do have some conclusive evidence, don't you?
Your Honor, I don't have any evidence I can present at this point in time.
Well, that's true. The defense did refuse to present evidence.
At that moment, that piece of cloth ceased to be legal evidence.
But that's not fair.
Life's not fair, Emma.
Did you actually think you could best me in court?
Quick, catch him! He's turning into an owl to get away!
It looks like the last laugh's on you, son.
Damn, you really got him. He's turning into an
look at
owl.
go.
Wait, no!
I'm afraid Mr. Gant's claim is legally correct.
What happened to all the evidence from every case before this, then?
Well, Mr. Edgeworth?
Yeah.
True. Illegal evidence cannot be used to convict a person. Assuming, of course, that the evidence is indeed illegal.
Where's our book of evidence?
Well, Mr. Wright?
It seems, at last, the time for me to reveal my plan has finally arrived.
What plan?
You're telling me this boy had a real plan? I don't think so.
Mr. Wright, do you admit to it? That you purposefully and illegally concealed this piece of cloth? I did not.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't relevant at the time. I'm claiming that.
I admit I refused to present it at one point.
Aha! So the evidence is illegal.
Objection! No, it isn't, Mr. Gant.
Huh?
It's not that I didn't present evidence then. It's that I couldn't.
What do you mean you couldn't?
There are certain procedures involved when presenting evidence. I learned them yesterday.
Actually, I think you learned them this morning.
Yeah. Don't listen to his lies. He's nothing but a coward. You can't really believe.
Objection! There is only one issue left to be resolved in this trial. Is this evidence legal or not?
Very well. Let us settle this once and for all. Earlier, you refused to present evidence. If you can prove your conduct was not in violation of the law, then do so now. Have this book on evidence law, Your Honor.
I think I'd like to
Look,
call
Your
a
Honor.
new witness to the stand, Your Honor. P.O. the evidence duck. Take that!
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Put the duck on the stand.
This is my proof, Your Honor. Evidence law. Ignored that this book is clearly for children.
It's perfect for the judge's reading level.
God.
What's this?
I've done my homework too, Chief. Indeed, Emma Sky's fingerprints were on this piece of cloth. However, at that point in time, this was merely a piece of cloth, nothing more.
What?
You see, it's written right here in this book. The second rule of evidence law. Rule 1. No evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department.
God, so literally all of our evidence.
I found this piece of evidence myself, inside your safe. I'm calling it finding and not stealing. It goes without saying, I did not have approval from the police department.
God.
So I stole this.
I may have even broken the law.
So I didn't have
But
approval
we'll not get
because
into
I'm
that.
a thief.
Oh my God, just kidding. Huh.
Oh, this man.
Rule 2. Unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case on trial. And here is the crux of the matter. You see, at the time it was impossible for me to prove the relevance between the cloth and the SL9 incident.
What? What kind of nonsense is this? You want relevancy? Just take one look at this picture and...
Objection!
You're irrelevant.
Sorry, but can you recall when was that picture presented?
It was shown only a few moments ago.
I think it was a few minutes at this point, sir.
No.
He's right. And he's right.
Uh-huh.
Just lightening things up a little bit. At the beginning of today's trial, that piece of cloth was still meaningless. The person who gave it value as evidence was you, Damon Gant. You yourself confessed to a certain truth. Let me verify this once more. On the day of the crime, you personally cut out this piece of the victim's vest?
Oh, yes. No!
It was then that you approved this cloth as conclusive evidence. Yes, you, the chief of police, personally approved this cloth. The only person who could have cut this from the victim's vest is the one who stood before Prosecutor Marshall in his final moments. In other words, the real murderer, and there's only one person who that could be.
Pio the evidenced.
Damon Gant, the killer was you.
No. No.
That was so good, Sarah.
Well done.
Shit, I'm out of breath. Knew I should have gotten rid of him. God, I love Gant so much, and I hate him so much, too. That good-for-nothing scum. 2 years he's been snooping around the department, trying to get something on me. Crimes are being committed every day, yet he insisted on hounding me.
Well, your crime wasn't exactly petty. Someone did the calculations for Gant's final breakdown, and it's like, if you look at how fast he claps, like in frames, it's like something humanly impossible of how fast he is clapping.
The clap of his hands. The clap of his fabrication alerted.
Colonel.
I knew where that was
trying
going,
to
and I was like,
fabricate
please.
evidence, but I'm dummy thick, and the clap of my hands keeps alerting the lawyers.
He wanted to reinvestigate the case. He recruited Angel Star, then convinced Bruce Goodman.
Detective Goodman?
Yeah, that's right.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
I can do a Marshall impression if you guys want.
Go for it.
Sure.
Oh god, what the hell did he sound like? If the evidence is transferred, I'll lose my only chance to find out the truth.
That was
That
very...
wasn't bad.
Please, you gotta help me. Thank you, I tried.
Like, I feel like it's too close to Gant for me to...
Yeah, that's why I was gonna say, like, I probably should not ask Sarah Beth to do this, and Amy's in a quiet environment.
Yeah.
Guess I could have asked Emma.
I suppose.
Goodman turned him down, as he ought to. Still, Jake Marshall didn't know when to quit.
He stole Goodman's ID card and tried to take the evidence.
Goodman came to me that day. He wanted to file a lost item report. I went with him to the evidence room. Then all of a sudden he decided to speak out.
Who wants to be Goodman? Emma, quick. If Goodman talks, it's you.
Oh, okay.
What are you talking about, Goodman?
Can you please reopen the investigation, Chief? This is my first line in 3 weeks. We can't transfer the evidence now. There are too many questions left unanswered.
That's because you missed the Angel Star bit last time.
I know. I can't remember where I was.
Uh-oh.
But hey, now you're Goodman. Congrats.
Investigation. He opened his evidence locker as he was taking the evidence out. He said,
It's not too late. I'm going to hand all this over to Marshall.
well, to be honest, I was a bit taken aback by his words.
I feel like that's an understatement of how you felt about his words.
I had a bad feeling when he came to see me, but I never thought he'd bring up SL9.
So I'ma chill murder him so that none of that evidence gets out.
It's fine. Sorry. That's when I saw it. That accursed knife.
1 of 4.
Jesus.
Couldn't just pull it out.
Jesus. Doing so would have only led to more blood, making it near impossible to hide your crime.
Even so, the blood was just pouring out. I didn't know who might stumble in, so I hurried to wipe it up.
With
Could've,
what?
like, locked the door for a while or something and, like, cleaned up?